Hello everyone, I'm Wuwei. Today I'm talking about my letter that has been sent to Dr. Robert Birgeneau, the Chancellor of UC Berkeley, exactly about 1 year ago, which is sent at December 1st of 2011. And I myself was a sole researcher, a writer, a novelist, and the letter is about 10 points of the discoveries of the human soul body, my discoveries of the soul body. Dr. Robert Birgeneau, Chancellor of UC Berkeley. I, as a person who has evidence to prove the existence of a physical soul body and the existence of the physical consciousness stream, and who, with such a discovery, have broken through the mysteries of most psychic phenomena and religious experiences, and even some academic puzzles in the area of psychology and quantum physics, would like to appeal to you for your help in considering to arrange resources of your esteemed university for the further research on and examination into the discovery of this physical soul body for the benefit of our human society and for the possible future recognitions and achievements and awards to your revered university in the academic society. During the last 10 years of my meditation and Qigong practices, I had personally experienced numerous psychic phenomena, including OBE, out-of-body experience, NDE, near-death experience, telepathy, clairvoyance, and precognition. As an innate skeptic to any unexplained phenomena, but always with an open mind to the unknown, through a long process of tedious observations and sometimes even painstaking experiments, and through hundreds of times of analyzing those facts that had been witnessed as phenomena, I believe that I have finally had evidence to show the following. And the first point is the existence of a physical soul body. This soul body is a combination of our mind and our own electromagnetic field. A living being's first heartbeat as his life's forming and his brain's commencement to function that creates a mind to process data, generate his individual electromagnetic field, and therein create his own individual soul body for the first time in his life. This soul body is housed in living being's biological body, but operates in both the worldly dimension, means the material dimension, and the soul dimension, the psychic dimension. This physical electromagnetic soul body and its remarkable functions and its psychic features can be verified and tested in laboratory experiments. The second point, the perception of a physical soul body. There's a soul body and you can perceive it, and the perception of the soul body is the second point. The soul sense, the sixth sense, and the perception of the physical soul body really exist. But such senses are usually being overlapped and overwhelmed by the much stronger five sense. In a situation of a so-called altered state of consciousness, the subjective consciousness to the normal signals that are sent from the five senses through the nervous systems is switched to the awareness of the subconscious perception of the sixth sense, the soul body perception. It's the switch from perceiving the five senses signal to the sixth sense signal. That's the soul body perception. This perception's path switch is done by the alteration of the state of consciousness in many possible ways, such as dying, near-death experience, being sick, body exhaustion, fasting, religious dancing, spiritual prayers, meditation, qigong practice, extreme physical and psychological torturing, taking psychedelic drugs and dreaming, etc., etc. And the third point is point 3. The existence of the physical consciousness streams. There's one type of physical stream come out from your mind. This is the existence of the physical consciousness stream. As a living being's brain is functioning in the thinking process, a systematically conscious mind that functions as a programmed software generates the physical consciousness streams that are emanated out from your brain. Out from your brain. These physical consciousness streams and the effects of its function can be observed and tested in laboratory experiments. The fourth point, point 4. Consciousness streams carry bi-directional information. Such stream emanating out from your brain would carry bi-directional information, in and out information. The conscious stream that is emitted out from the soul body through the interaction of the mind and the living being's electromagnetic field can carry information in and out of the soul body. Such information that are perceived by the soul body can be stored, retrieved, and understood in the unconscious and subconscious layer of the living being's mind consciousness. And such unconscious and subconscious information could become conscious later when the sensory signal paths that are opened to the normal five senses are damaged or blockaded, so that the subconscious perception to the soul body opens up. The information that is carried by the consciousness streams and such remote communication channel can be verified and tested in laboratory experiments. And the fifth point is, there is the electromagnetic ray that emanates out from the human eyes. The ray, electromagnetic ray, emanate out from the human eyes, such as Dr. Ross Collins' study, but I experienced personally. Such a ray can be witnessed and be observed under certain conditions. Such an electromagnetic ray acts like a scanner to act on an object and to pick up and send back the information of that object to the soul eyes that are located at the same spot of our fresh eyes. But while our fresh eyes are specially constructed with photon receptors to perceive photon energy, the soul eyes emit rays to scan and to transfer information that exists in the soul dimension. And the function of these soul eyes can that can emit out rays and pick up information to create image is the reason of people's suspicions in a long history about the existence of the so-called celestial eyes that are thought mistakenly that only the superhuman could possess, and sometimes erroneously thought to be in different locations around the fresh eyes. People think here, wherever, rather than the eyes, because of the illusion of the perception. In fact, the emission and perception of this electromagnetic ray operating in human subconsciousness constructs the reality of the long suspected mystery of the psychic stairs. That's what Dr. Dean Radins talk about. But scientists do not know why that happened that way, probably. The sixth point is the existence of the unknown particles in the soul dimension that can be affected by consciousness streams and causes the OBE, the out-of-body experience. Under certain circumstances, when the perception of the soul eyes for the information that is picked up by the emitting ray become possible and accessible, the movement of such unknown particle waves could be observed. The particles, as the waves moving around in front of us, could be observed by the vision that opens up through scanning with the rays, then emitted out from our eyes. An action of the combination of such electromagnetic rays and the consciousness stream that affect on the movements of the unknown particle waves, with the perception of the impact of such particle wave movement by that extremely sensitive and sanctioned electromagnetic soul body, an illusion of floating, gliding, or flying, and therefore the sense of OBE, means the sense of out-of-body experience, is produced. So that's the illusion from the perception of the wave movement of the particle, but that's affected by our consciousness streams. The flying sense in the OBE, out-of-body experience, is of a truthful flying reality that is in reference to the soul body's flying direction, the soul body flying direction, against that of, means against the direction of the particle waves movements. Whereas the soul body itself does not really fly out of the human body in reference of the physical world. The soul body does not fly out from our body. But we feel we are flying because the movement of the particle is moving around us, and in reference of that movement, we felt that we are moving up and down, forward, backward. But that's it's extremely wonderful feeling of the flying. Therefore, the OBE experience, the out-of-body experience, though as illusory as it may seem, is not hallucination. It's not a hallucination as what skeptics claim. Okay. The out-of-body experience is not a hallucination, although it's illusively. It seemed illusory, but it's not the hallucination because it is the real reality of the flying in the reality of the particle movement. The seventh point. The conscious streams and the soul body's perception are the cause of the near-death experience, the NDE, and most, or in fact all, let's see, of the other psychic experiences. Consciousness streams that emanate out of our minds and can carry information back and forth could produce a holographic image out of our body, an image out of body, with the consciousness streams add on the material particle waves in the soul dimension. When the consciousness energy is tremendously concentrated with a highly intensive subjective attention. And that is the cause of the vision that is produced in near-death experience, means NDE. So the near-death experience, the NDE, the flying sensation and the vision of the lights or even the vision of a religious divine being is generated by the soul body's perceptions and creation. That is a material reality that could be distorted by illusion, but again, they themselves are not hallucinations. The eighth point is the causality of consciousness, hologram, and heaven, hell, and nirvana vision in near-death experience, NDE, near-death experience. In the process of dying, or the process of near-death experience, due to the body's deterioration that causes the blockade of the normal five senses and the open up of the sixth sense perception, the perception of the soul body's flying becomes available, become aware. And at the same time, the intensive worry or expectation to what is going to instantly happen next steps keeps the mind very active, so that it is very attentive and alert to the signals from the soul perception. And without a subjective consciousness, awareness, the automatic calculation of a good or evil mental thinking process in this person's whole life in the past is being judged and weighed into a net balance of being of either a positive value or a negative value. This process is exhibited as the illusion of a supreme verdict of the judgment day. That's the illusion. However, such automatic computation without the participation of the reviewed or the judged person, subjective consciousness, to the positive or negative value of this person's life would cause the instant moment of a passive sense of either serenity or anxiety. The big difference, serenity or anxiety. It caused the instant moment of a passive sense of either serenity or anxiety. And this sense of the distinction of the outcome of the automatic computation, the supreme judgment, causes an unconscious will involuntarily with consciousness stream to form an automatic hologram of either a heaven-like or a hell-like hologram. That's the heaven-like or hell-like image. So the final tour of a person's life, whether going into a heaven-like hologram or a hell-like hologram, depends majorly on this person's karma. Whereas the data in recordings about his whole life, especially in his thinking process, will be computed and evaluated automatically, not this person's subjective wish. While there may not be a physical heaven or hell, at least to my current understanding, a conscious mind that is locked in physical heaven. While there may not be a physical heaven or hell, at least to my current understanding, a conscious mind that is locked in such a self-created hologram in the final moment of a person's life, due to the information of this hologram along with the energy of a person's extinguishing mind, that will be carried away with photon and thus could be traveling as fast as the speed of light. Therefore, time slows down infinitely. The dying person's final perception of a heaven or hell could become factually eternal because the time slows down infinitely. And a reality of the eternal blessing and eternal blessing or eternal damn thus become possible. Nirvana is a heaven-like near-death experience of a Buddhist version, a reality of the realm of a vision of flying into a self-made hologram that is of ultimate beauty, of a status of the eternal constancy, happiness, selfness, and serenity. A revelation of a divine image or an evil image in both near-death experience and other religious experiences is most likely an objective, is most likely an objective hologram that is made by subjective consciousness. Once again, a revelation of a divine image is most likely an objective hologram that is made by subjective consciousness. The ninth point, the causality of program downloading onto the soul body and the divine perception and the mystery of reincarnation. The mind of our soul body in our physical body is acting as a program software in a hard drive. Under certain circumstances, our soul body opens up to a special spiritual entity, just as a computer hooks up to a special internet address for the information of which to be downloaded into the computer. To get access to the energy, the information of that entity, and to download the message or program from that entity. When this happens, we are being enlightened just like the computer gets equipped with an additional program to advance a faster computation. But when the energy of such a spiritual entity to be downloaded onto us, our mind, and completely takes control of our whole mind and consciousness, we are in a conscious state of being possessed by that energy. Just like a computer gets downloaded of a new program and uses that as a new operating system, the OS, to replace the old one. Under one extreme circumstance, our mind of our soul body could get access directly to the universal collective consciousness, a universal computation mainframe. This is possible and likely as our world itself is a gigantic magnet. Just like a computer gets connected to the much more powerful main server, we then could think in a super ingenious way, with creative innovation in the process of computation. In that situation, our soul body that is being possessed with such a universal mind, the universal computer of a collective consciousness, could think, compute like the supreme entity, the God himself. In that situation, miracle seems to be presented as a psychic wonder to demonstrate the ability of a supercomputation, and as the power to precognition, or even as a message of an oracle. A lot of things could happen during that moment. Reincarnation could be a phenomenon in which a person's folder of the information of his past life gets downloaded into another person's mind, means the soul body. This is very possible due to the existence of the physical consciousness stream that carries bi-directional information. And that folder of the information usually would be hidden as the merely erased files that would not be able to be retrieved and used. Thus would not be conscious to our subjective consciousness in the usual time at that moment. Occasionally and accidentally become conscious and available to the subject as a very young kid of a weak capacity. That very young kid would be of a very weak capacity in subjective thinking, therefore of a much stronger subconscious awareness. Or as a person in a traumatic accident, in a process of hypnosis, in other psychic practices, in meditative cultivation of self-enlightenment, and etc., etc. During all those different situations, it would opens up the perception to the hidden information that is stored in the soul body. That also explains the extreme scenario of a person's perceptions of multiple personalities. The switch from the normal five sense perception to the soul body perception, and the possibility of the downloading of another person's information folders, at least partially, reveals a potential cause of many symptoms of schizophrenia. And the 10 points is the conscious attention interlocking the remote objects is the foundation of all psychic phenomena. The conscious attention with the consciousness stream that emits out of the mind and carried by directional information that is bridged over and interlocked onto an object in distance is the basic cause of all psychic phenomena, such as telepathy, remote viewing, soul eyes viewing, precognition, psychic healing, and even PK, psychokinesis. The process in which the conscious attention interlocks a remote object and the information is transferred through consciousness streams activates a psycho-communication channel. And the soul bodies are acting as the information transmitting stations. With the mind switched to the perception of the sixth sense with an altered state of consciousness, apprehension of the information become possible. In the scenario of PK, the conscious attention interlocking the object and the conscious streams work together on the subatomic level of the structure of the object, and that subsequently change the physical nature of the object to provide the possibility of a phenomenon of the mind over matter. With the extreme concentration of such psychokinesis in the directional consciousness stream, the spiritual healing prayers and the malicious voodoo cursing work the same way. In the scenario of precognition, the information of what could happen and how could happen in the future as things are in the process of happening are being computed and revealed by the universal computer, of which the collective consciousness is a part. And a subject who opens up a compatible channel to that information, either by accident or by intention, just like hooking up a right web page with a right web address. Such information as precognition, or sometimes as recognition, could be received. And if that subject is in an altered state of consciousness, the message of that received information data, received as an encrypted, coded data, can be realized and can be interpreted into our language of conscious apprehension. In analyzing the process of a conscious will, with the emission of consciousness stream, with directional attention to alter the movement of the particle waves in the soul dimension, and an extreme situation of successfully forming the consciousness hologram, such as in near-death experience, the pondering on the puzzle of the collapse of wave function into particles through observer's observation to the observed in quantum physics could be enlightened, if not yet solved at all. That's all the 10 points that Wuwei had written to UC Berkeley, the Chancellor of UC Berkeley, Dr. Robert Birgeneau. The final paragraphs are: Dr. Robert Birgeneau, the above are only part of my findings, and a significant value of their uniqueness of such finding is that they are solely based on my numerous personal experiences of the psychic phenomena, spiritual visions, providential revelations, oracles, and meditative enlightenments, rather than based on the study of other people's research, reports, or books. That's all original. I believe that these findings have huge implications in many aspects of our lives, our knowledge and the scientific research, or even many possible scientific breakthroughs. For instance, the implications of the existence of both a physical soul body and the consciousness stream could extend as far as to suggest a possibility that the evolution is not only by means of natural selection, but also by means of conscious will to be conveyed by the consciousness stream that carries information. Moreover, in the area of this advanced technology and high level of scientific achievements in the human history, to further understand ourselves and to understand the ultimate truth of our soul that had been suspected of for thousands of years, through scientific research and examination in an honorable university like UC Berkeley, are of incomparable significance and pressing imminence. Nevertheless, at the age of such a speedy advancement of the exploration in quantum physics that had opened up a Pandora box of the miraculous dimensions of the mysteries in physics, it must also be a perfect moment for the revelation of the secrecy of a human soul, and therewith we should work together to contribute for the great benefit of the human society. Thank you for your attention. God bless everyone.